Rain made the streets of downtown Chicago shine like glass. Outside the Apex Skyline Gala at a riverfront hotel, cameras flashed, drivers yelled, and rich people walked like the sidewalk belonged to them. Then Jalen Cross stepped under the lights. He looked calm, sharp seat, clean haircut, quiet watch. But his eyes were not calm. They were locked on the entrance like he was about to walk into a storm on purpose. In his hand was a fat manila envelope, across the front written in thick black marker, "Final notice." His phone buzzed once. "Unknown. Don't go inside. They're waiting for you." Jalen didn't reply. He watched a security guard wave in a city councilman. He watched a real estate developer laugh too loud. He watched a woman in a gold dress lift her phone and pose like the whole world was her mirror. His phone buzzed again. "Unknown. She's here." Jalen's jaw tightened. He didn't need to ask who she was, because years ago, the name Ariel Bloom had been the warmest thing in his life, and then the coldest. Above the hotel doors, a huge screen played the gala promo. It showed smiling kids in a renovated school. It showed apartment towers with clean, bright windows. It showed the words, "Building hope through investment." Then the screen changed. Ariel's face appeared. Older now, polished, beautiful in a don't-touch-me kind of way. She stood beside the evening's biggest sponsor, Dante Wexler, a famous black venture capitalist everyone called the Future. The crowd inside cheered when her image showed, like she was the reason hope was real. Jalen stared at the screen, and something deep in him stirred. Anger, pain, and a strange calm he earned the hard way. A tall woman in a silver pantsuit stepped beside him. Dr. Renee Cross, his aunt, looked like someone who never blinked first. "You ready?" she asked. Jalen didn't look away from the doors. "I didn't come ready," he said. "I came decided." A security guard stepped forward. "Invitation?" Jalen handed it over. The guard scanned it once, then again, slower this time. His eyes narrowed like the name meant something. He swallowed. "Mr. Cross, you're expected." That word hit hard. Expected. Inside, the host's voice boomed. "Tonight is about second chances." Jalen almost laughed. Second chances had never been free for him. They always came with pain. He adjusted the envelope. 7 years earlier, Chicago didn't look like it did now. Back then, Jalen lived in a small apartment on the south side near Bronzeville, above a corner store that sold chips, hair grease, and cheap dreams. The heater barely worked. The ceiling had a stain shaped like a broken heart. But he was still building, trying to start a small credit repair and financial coaching business with a beat-up laptop and a lot of faith. That same week, everything crashed. His mom, Ms. Denise Cross, got sick. Not a little sick. Hospital sick. Bills came in thick envelopes that felt like bricks. Jalen was sitting at the kitchen table with rent notices and hospital papers spread out. The numbers didn't even feel real. They felt like a joke someone was playing on him. Ariel stood near the door, holding her purse like she was ready to run. Her friend Tasha Wynn leaned against the wall with a look that said, "I warned you." Ariel's voice was soft. "Jalen, I can't do this." He didn't look up right away. "We'll figure it out," he said. "We always do." Tasha laughed, sharp and mean. "Y'all always figure it out by being late and stressed." Ariel shot Tasha a warning look, but it didn't stop the truth from sitting in the room like smoke. Jalen finally looked at Ariel. "What are you saying?" Her eyes were wet, but her chin was up. "I'm saying I'm tired. I'm tired of pretending love can pay bills. I'm tired of being scared every time my phone rings." Jalen's throat tightened. "My mom could." Ariel stepped forward fast. "I know, and I'm sorry, but I can't drown with you." That sentence hit like a slap. Jalen stood up so quick the chair scraped the floor. "So you're leaving because things got hard?" Ariel flinched. "No, I'm leaving because everything is hard. Every day. And I don't see the end." Jalen's voice broke just a little. "You promised." Ariel whispered. "I meant it when I said it." Tasha sighed loudly. "Ari, come on. You're not married. You're not stuck. Let's go." Ariel looked at Jalen like she wanted to hug him and run at the same time. She reached out, touched his hand once, warm and shaking. "I love you," she said. Then she pulled back, turned, walked out. Jalen stood there staring at the door like it might reopen. It didn't. And that night he didn't just lose Ariel. He lost the part of himself that believed love would stay when money didn't. After Ariel left, Life didn't get better fast, it got worse first. Jalen worked 2 jobs, night shift security, daytime deliveries. Between shifts, he sat in hospital waiting rooms with his mom's hand in his and his phone full of unpaid bills. He learned words like deductible, denial, coverage, appeal, the language of pain dressed as paperwork. His mom tried to smile through it, but Jalen saw the fear in her eyes. One day, a hospital worker pulled him aside. "She needs a treatment," the worker said. "It's expensive." Jalen swallowed hard. "I'll find a way." He called charities. He filled out forms. He begged without using the word beg. One foundation said they could help, a big fancy one, the kind tied to rich donors and impact investing. They asked for pictures. They asked for a story. They asked for Denise's private medical notes. Jalen sent everything. Then they went quiet. 2 weeks later, an email came. Denied. No real reason, just denied. Denise died 3 months after Ariel left. Jalen didn't post a long speech online. He didn't shout. He didn't fall apart in public. He went numb. Then he got focused. He took every bit of pain and turned it into fuel. He started studying money like it was a weapon. He learned real estate deals, private equity, business loans, credit law, insurance loopholes, and the way rich people hide money behind clean words. He stopped being loud. He stopped explaining himself. He stopped trying to look good to people who didn't care. He built a small firm, Cross Ledger Group. First it was credit repair and budgeting. Then it became business funding. Then it became real estate investing. Then legal support. Then compliance work. He learned how to sit in rooms with investors who smiled while lying. And he learned how to wait. By the time the city started whispering his name, he didn't need attention. He needed results. Now, 7 years later, he wasn't broke. He was dangerous, in the cleanest way. He walked into the Apex Skyline Gala with a calm face and a heavy envelope, because tonight wasn't about revenge. It was about something bigger, something that started the same week Ariel left, even though she never knew. Inside the gala, everything was bright and smooth. The room smelled like perfume, cologne, and money. A jazz band played soft music near a glass wall that showed the Chicago River glowing outside. People laughed with perfect teeth. People hugged like cameras were always watching. A man with a shiny smile stepped up to Jalen. "Mr. Cross," he said, holding out his hand. "I'm Preston Hale, board member. We've heard you might show tonight." Jalen shook his hand once. Firm, short. "That's what I do," Jalen said. "Show up." Preston chuckled, but it sounded nervous. Nearby, a woman with a tablet moved fast between staff like a general. Her name tag read, Kendra Lane, Event Director. She glanced at Jalen's envelope and looked away like she didn't want to know. Across the room, Ariel stood near the stage with Dante Wexler. She wore a deep blue dress that made people turn their heads. She laughed at something Dante said, but the laugh looked trained, like a habit. Then Ariel turned. Her eyes landed on Jalen. At first, she didn't recognize him, not fully. She just stared like she felt something in the air. Then her face changed. The smile dropped. Her breath caught. The room stayed loud, but around Ariel, everything went quiet. Dante followed her stare. He looked at Jalen like he was trying to remember if Jalen was a threat. Ariel stepped back half a step. Her friend Tasha, still in her orbit, still loud, appeared at her side and whispered, "No way. That's him?" Ariel didn't answer. She couldn't. Jalen didn't walk to her yet. He let the moment sit. Let it burn. Let her feel it. Because he remembered the night she left, how she didn't even let him speak. Now she would listen. A young man rushed up to Jalen, breathing hard. Malik Cross, Jalen's cousin, leaned close. "Jay," Malik whispered, "I heard staff talking. Dante's people been asking about you. Like they scared." Jalen's eyes stayed on Ariel. "They should be." Malik swallowed. "You sure you want to do this tonight in front of everybody?" Jalen's voice was low. "Yes." On stage, the host grabbed the mic. "Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we have a surprise match donor. A private investor is about to double every pledge. Biggest moment of the year." The crowd cheered. Ariel's hands shook as she watched Jalen. She mouthed his name like it tasted like memory. Jalen. And Jalen finally started walking toward the stage. The host kept smiling, but the room had shifted. People could feel tension, even if they didn't know why. That's how it is when truth is nearby. The gala's main project was called Skyline Renewal, A big real estate plan with affordable units, small business grants, and community investment. It sounded good on paper. It looked good on screens, but Jalen knew paper could lie. Ariel didn't know what Jalen knew. She only knew the past. And right now, the past was standing 10 feet away, holding something heavy.
Dante leaned to Ariel and whispered, "Who is that guy?"
Ariel's voice shook. "Someone I used to know." Dante's smile stayed, but his eyes sharpened. "Used to? He looks like he owns a building." Ariel swallowed. "He didn't back then." Tasha hissed, "Ignore him. Whatever he's doing, it's messy." Ariel didn't ignore him, because even from far away, she could see Jalen wasn't there to beg. He wasn't there to cry. He looked like a man who came to deliver something. Jalen stopped by his Aunt Renee. Renee's voice was calm. "You got the documents?" Jalen nodded once. "Everything." Renee glanced at the stage. "Once you start, no turning back." Jalen's face didn't change. "I already turned back once, when my mom needed help. I won't do that again." Ariel's chest tightened. She didn't know what he meant, but his tone scared her. Preston Hale rushed over, smiling too hard. "Mr. Cross, the board is excited. We appreciate your support." Jalen looked at Preston. "Support?" he repeated, like he was tasting the word. "Yes," Preston said, quick. "Your donation match?" Jalen didn't correct him. "Not yet." The host called, "Ladies and gentlemen, our match donors representative is here." Spotlight swung. People clapped. Phones rose to record. Jalen stepped onto the stage. As he walked past Ariel, she whispered, "Jalen, please." He didn't stop. He didn't look at her. Not because he didn't hear, because he needed her to feel what it's like when someone walks away without explaining. Just once. He reached the mic, placed the envelope on the podium. The room went silent in a way money rooms don't like. Jalen took one breath. Jalen's voice was calm and clear. Not loud, not shaky. Calm like he'd practiced this in his head 100 times. "My name is Jalen Cross," he said. "I represent the private investor you've been calling the match donor." The crowd clapped again. Small claps, careful claps. People didn't know what to expect. Jalen waited until the clapping died. "Tonight," he continued, "you've heard big words. Hope, renewal, community." Heads nodded, smiles returned. Jalen's eyes moved across the room like a spotlight. "But I want to talk about something simple." He tapped the envelope once. Truth. A few people shifted in their seats. Dante's smile froze. Ariel's face tightened, confused and scared. Jalen spoke again, slower now. "This project has investors. It has banks. It has contracts. And it has a public image." He looked at Dante. "And it has people behind it who are not clean." A ripple moved through the crowd. Whispers, side eyes, someone laughing like it was a joke. Dante stepped forward a little. "Excuse me," he said smoothly into the room. "Is this part of the program?" Jalen didn't flinch. "No," he said. "This is the part you didn't plan." Gasps. A few phones lifted higher. Jalen opened the envelope and slid out a thick set of papers, clipped and labeled. "These are compliance reports," he said. "Bank trails, shell company links, property transfers, and proof that some of the money tied to Skyline Renewal is linked to fraud." The room froze. Preston Hale's face turned pale. Kendra Lane looked like she wanted to vanish. Dante's jaw tightened. "That's a serious claim." Jalen nodded. "Yes, that's why I didn't bring a rumor. I brought evidence." Ariel whispered to Tasha, "What is he doing?" Tasha hissed, "He's trying to embarrass you, that's what." But Ariel could see it. Jalen wasn't smiling. He wasn't enjoying this. He looked hurt, but controlled, like this was a duty. Dante walked closer to the stage, still calm but angry under it. "Security," he said quietly. 2 guards moved. Jalen lifted his phone. "Before you do that," he said, "know this. Copies of these documents are already with attorneys, and a journalist. And yes, federal investigators." The guards stopped like they hit a wall. Dante's face changed. That smooth confidence cracked for a second. Ariel saw it. Jalen leaned toward the mic. "So no," he said. "I'm not here to donate." He paused, letting the silence grow teeth. "I'm here to stop a lie from taking one more person's life." Ariel's eyes widened, and in that moment, she realized this wasn't about money. This was about something that happened while she was gone. The program paused. That's what they called it when rich people panicked. Staff guided donors into side rooms. The host disappeared. Preston Hale started making calls like his life depended on it. Ariel stood near the hallway, breathing fast, heart pounding like it wanted to run away. Then she saw Jalen step off the stage and move toward a quiet lounge. She followed. Tasha grabbed her arm. Ariel, don't, not like this. Ariel pulled free. I have to. Inside the lounge, Jalen stood by a window looking down at the river. His Aunt Renee sat at a small table with two lawyers, Attorney Malcolm Pierce and Attorney Drea Sutton, both calm, both ready. Jalen turned when Ariel entered. For a second, neither spoke. Ariel's voice came out small. Why are you doing this? Jalen's face stayed steady. Because it needs to be done. Ariel swallowed hard. Dante, he's my fiancé. Jalen's eyes held hers. I know. Ariel's lip trembled. Then why hurt me like this? Jalen stepped closer, not too close. I'm not trying to hurt you, he said. But if the truth hurts, that's not my fault. Ariel's eyes filled. You didn't even let me talk. On stage. You walked right past me. Jalen's jaw clenched, pain flashing. You walked past me first, he said quietly, when I was breaking. Ariel flinched like the words slapped her. She tried again. Jalen, what is this really about? What did Dante do to you? Jalen looked away for a moment, like he was deciding how much he could say without breaking. Then he spoke, slow and simple. The foundation that denied my mom's help, it was tied to Dante. Ariel's face drained. What? Jalen nodded. My mom was sick. We applied. We sent everything they asked. They denied her. Ariel's hands rose to her mouth. No, Jalen, I didn't know. I believe you, Jalen said. But you also didn't ask. You left, and you never looked back. Ariel cried silently. I was scared. I was broke too. I thought if I stayed, I would sink with you. Jalen's voice stayed calm. And I sank anyway, he said. But I learned how to swim in deep water. Ariel looked at the lawyers, at the documents, at the serious faces. She whispered. So Dante is... Attorney Drea Sutton answered softly. He's been moving money through community projects, flipping buildings, hiding behind good words. Ariel shook her head, tears falling. I loved him. Jalen's eyes softened. That's why I came, he said. Before he pulls you under too. Ariel stood there, shaking, and outside the lounge door, footsteps approached fast. Dante was coming. Dante Wexler entered the lounge like he owned the air. He smiled first, smooth, calm, dangerous. Two security men stood behind him. Preston Hale hovered in the doorway, sweating. Ariel, Dante said warmly. There you are. Come on, baby. Let's go home. Ariel didn't move. Dante's eyes slid to Jalen. The smile stayed, but it got colder. You're causing a mess, he said. Jalen replied, simple. You made the mess. Dante chuckled. You know what you are? A bitter man with papers. Attorney Malcolm Pierce spoke calmly. Those papers will hold up in court. Dante's eyes narrowed. Court? He laughed like it was cute. Do you know who I am? Jalen looked him straight in the face. Yes, he said, that's why I'm here. Dante stepped closer to Ariel, voice softer. He's lying to you. He wants to break us. Ariel's eyes were wet. Are you clean, Dante? She asked, voice shaking. Are you? Dante blinked once, then smiled again. Baby, you know me. Ariel shook her head. I thought I did. Dante's tone tightened. This is business. People don't understand deals. Jalen cut in. People understand being pushed out of their homes, he said. People understand sick mothers being denied help. Dante's face twitched. Watch your mouth. Jalen didn't raise his voice. Watch your money. Dante turned to Jalen, lowering his voice like a private offer. What do you want? He asked. Name it. Cash, a partnership, a payout. Everybody has a price. Jalen stared at him, then said, My mother did. The room went quiet. Ariel covered her mouth. Tasha, standing behind her now, whispered, Oh my God. Dante's smile finally slipped. That's, he started. Attorney Drea Sutton stood. Dante Wexler, she said. You've been served. She placed legal papers on the table, like a judge drops a final ruling. Dante's eyes darted to the door, to the guards, to the lawyers. His voice rose slightly. This is a setup. Jalen nodded. Yes, he said. A setup for the truth. Dante leaned toward Ariel, desperate now. Ari, come with me, right now. Don't let them trap you in this. Ariel looked at him. She looked at Jalen. Then she whispered, I'm already trapped by what I ignored. Dante's voice turned sharp. Ariel. She stepped back from him. Don't, she said. And for the first time, Dante looked scared, because he realized Ariel wasn't his shield anymore. The lounge emptied except for a few key people. Outside, the gala was still trying to pretend. But the lie was dying. Ariel sat down hard on the couch like her legs gave up. Her hands shook. Her mind raced. Jalen stood near the window again, staring at the city like he could see the past inside it. Ariel spoke, voice thin. When Denise got sick, why didn't you tell me? Jalen turned slowly. I did, he said, before you left. You just couldn't stay. Ariel squeezed her eyes shut. I hate myself for that. Jalen's voice stayed steady. I'm not here to make you hate yourself, he said. I'm here to make sure you see clearly. Ariel looked up, crying. I didn't know you became this. Jalen nodded once. I didn't plan it. I just kept going. Ariel wiped her face. Do you hate me? Jalen paused, then said, No. Ariel's breath shook out. Then why does it feel like you came to punish me? Jalen walked closer, gentle but firm. Because you're meeting the truth, he said, and the truth doesn't care about comfort. Ariel whispered, What's the core of this? What's the thing you're not saying? Jalen's eyes tightened. He looked down, then back up. The reason I targeted Dante tonight, he said, is because he's not just a bad businessman. Ariel's face tightened. What is he? Jalen answered slow. He runs his money through charity and community deals. He gets tax breaks, he gets praise, but behind it, he's crushing people. Ariel shook her head. But why tonight? Why this gala? Jalen took a breath. Because Skyline Renewal is about to sign a deal tomorrow morning, he said. A huge deal. If it signs, it locks families out, it locks investors in, and it washes Dante clean. Ariel blinked. Tomorrow? Attorney Malcolm Pierce nodded. At 9 a.m. Ariel stared. So you're stopping it right now? Jalen nodded. Yes. Ariel's voice broke, and I was going to stand on stage with him, smiling. Jalen didn't attack her. He just said, now you won't. Ariel looked at Jalen like she was seeing him for the first time. Not broke, not begging, not the boy she left. A man who survived. She whispered, If I help you, will you ever forgive me? Jalen held her gaze. Forgiveness isn't a button, he said, it's a road. Ariel nodded, wiping tears. Then tell me what to do. Jalen's phone buzzed. Renee read the message and said, They're here. Ariel's heart dropped. Who? Renee looked at her. Federal investigators, and Ariel realized the last scene was about to hit hard. Downstairs, the gala had started to wobble. Smiles looked fake. Laughter sounded forced. People checked their phones like the world outside was crashing in. Then the doors opened. 2 federal agents walked in. Calm faces, sharp eyes. A journalist followed behind them with a camera. Staff froze. Donors went silent. And between the agents, Dante Wexler walked with his shoulders stiff and his eyes wild. Ariel's breath caught. Dante saw her and reached out with his eyes like he could pull her back with a look. Ariel, he called, voice shaking. Tell them you didn't know. Tell them. Ariel stepped forward a little, tears in her eyes. Then she stopped. Because she remembered Jalen's words. Truth doesn't care about comfort. Jalen walked out of the side hallway, beside Aunt Renee, Malcolm, and Drea. He wasn't smiling. He wasn't celebrating. He looked like a man finishing a job he never wanted. One agent nodded at Jalen. Mr. Cross, he said, we received your full report. Thank you. The crowd gasped. Phones rose. Preston Hale nearly fainted. Ariel turned to Jalen, voice trembling. So you were the one behind this? Jalen nodded. Yes. Ariel's lips shook. All these years, Jalen spoke softly. I didn't chase you, he said. I built. Ariel cried harder. I left you when you had nothing. Jalen looked at her, eyes tired. You did. Ariel whispered, and now fate brought us face to face. Jalen nodded once. Yes. Ariel stepped closer. Is this the part where you get revenge? Jalen paused, then said something simple that hit harder than any shout. No, he said. This is the part where you learn. Ariel swallowed. Learn what? Jalen looked past her at Dante being led away. Learn that love isn't tested when life is easy, he said. It's tested when life is ugly. Ariel whispered, Do I ever get a second chance? Jalen's eyes softened. Not from the past, he said, but you can build a better future if you tell the truth now. Ariel turned to the agents. Her voice shook, but she stood tall. I didn't know everything, she said, but I ignored signs, and I'm ready to cooperate. Dante's face twisted. Ariel. She didn't look at him again. Then she looked back at Jalen, tears falling. I'm sorry, she whispered, for leaving. Jalen's throat tightened, but he kept his voice steady. I believe you, he said, but sorry doesn't change what it cost. Ariel nodded. I understand. Jalen stepped back, not cold, just clear. Then he turned and walked toward the exit. Ariel called after him, voice breaking. Jalen, was fate only bringing you back to hurt me? Jalen paused at the door. Rain's sound rushed in. He didn't turn around. No, he said softly. Fate brought us back to show you the truth, and to show me I survived. Then he walked into the night, and Ariel stood under bright lights, finally face to face with what she left behind.